Have you ever caught yourself wondering, when did that change happen? As men journey past 60, our bodies begin revealing subtle yet unmistakable signs of aging, some visible in the mirror, others noticeable only to those closest to us, and one you might actually smell before seeing. These hidden age markers aren't just random changes, they're biological signposts of a life well lived. Today, I'm sharing 4 telltale signs of aging that geriatric specialists confirm affect nearly every man. 1 that carries a distinctive scent, 2 that noticeably expand, and 1 that gradually disappears. You'll likely recognize at least 2 of these in yourself, though you may never have understood the fascinating science behind them. Before we dive in, I'd love to know where my viewers are watching from. Drop your city in the comments below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and like this video to join our community of distinguished gentlemen embracing this chapter of life. Now let's start with the change that affects not just your appearance, but potentially your health, the expanding midsection that seems to appear overnight. 1. Why your waistline expands. After 60, ever looked down and wondered, where did this belly come from? Don't worry, friend, you're not alone. That stubborn middle that seems to appear overnight isn't just from enjoying an extra cookie. What's happening to your waistline after 60 is completely different from how you gained weight in your 30s or 40s. You know the signs. Pants that used to fit just fine now feel snug, shirts that button a little too tightly across the middle. And the frustrating part? Your eating habits might not have changed much at all. This isn't your imagination, and it's certainly not your fault. Let me explain what's really going on here. As we get older, our bodies start changing the rule book. After 40, our testosterone levels drop about 1% each year. I talked with Dr. Margaret Wilson, who spent 30 years helping older folks like us, and she put it simply: when testosterone drops, your body has a harder time keeping muscle and finds it much easier to store fat, especially right around your middle. Your metabolism is slowing down too, by about 10% every decade after 50. That means the same sandwich and soup that used to fuel your afternoon now leaves behind extra calories that your body tucks away as fat. This isn't just about how we look in our favorite shirts, though. That extra weight around the middle is actually pretty busy. Unlike fat in other places, belly fat is active tissue that releases compounds that can cause inflammation throughout your body. These compounds can increase your risk of heart problems, make diabetes more likely, and some new research suggests they might even affect how clearly we think as we age. Simply put, your waistline is connected to your overall health in ways we didn't fully understand before. My friend James knows this all too well. At 72, this former high school football coach from Portland still takes his morning walks and watches what he eats. But a few years ago, he noticed something odd. My arms and legs were actually getting thinner while my middle just kept expanding, he told me over coffee last month. I kept blaming my diet until my doctor explained what was really happening with my hormones. Now for the good news, and yes, there is good news. Understanding these changes means we can do something about them. You don't need to become a gym rat, but adding some simple strength exercises twice a week makes a big difference. Things like standing up from a chair repeatedly, doing push-ups against the wall, or lifting light hand weights can help keep your muscles from disappearing. Protein becomes your best friend too. Try to get a little at each meal: an egg at breakfast, some tuna at lunch, chicken at dinner. Your body needs this building material more than ever now. And here's a tip that might surprise you. Focus less on cutting calories and more on cutting back on the white bread, pasta, and sweets. Your body needs fuel, just different kinds now. And don't forget about stress. When we're stressed, our bodies produce more cortisol, which actually tells your body to store more fat around your middle. Even simple things like deep breathing or enjoying a hobby you love can make a surprising difference. Remember, these changes don't define who we are. They're just part of our journey. I've seen plenty of men in their 70s and even 80s make impressive changes by working with these new realities instead of fighting against them. I'd love to hear from you. What changes have you noticed in your body over the years? Have you found anything that works particularly well? Drop a comment below. Your experience might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear today. 2. Disappearing calves. Why your legs are getting thinner. Have you noticed your pants legs feeling a bit looser lately? Or maybe getting up from a chair takes more effort than it used to? One of the most overlooked signs of aging is something happening right below our knees. Our calves are slowly disappearing. I first noticed this myself when putting on my favorite boots. There was suddenly extra room where my calves used to fill them out completely. It's not something we talk about much, but this change affects something incredibly important: our ability to stay steady on our feet and keep doing the things we love. What's actually happening here is something called sarcopenia, the fancy medical term for age-related muscle loss. After 50, we naturally lose about 1 to 2% of our muscle mass each year if we don't do anything to prevent it. And for some reason, those calf muscles often show the changes first. My friend Robert, a 75-year-old retired postal worker, noticed it when hiking became more difficult. "I've walked my neighborhood route for decades," he told me, "but suddenly hills became harder and my legs would tire quickly. I thought I was just getting lazy until my doctor pointed out my calf muscles had actually shrunk." This matters more than you might think. Sarah Johnson, a physical therapist who works primarily with older adults, explains it this way: your calf muscles are your body's unsung heroes. They pump blood back up from your feet, they help you push off when you walk, and they're crucial for keeping your balance. When they weaken, your risk of falling increases dramatically. Falls are no small matter for us. They're actually the leading cause of injury for folks over 65. But here's the good news. This muscle loss isn't inevitable. In fact, it's one of the most reversible signs of aging. The simplest exercise? Heel raises. Stand near a counter for support, rise up on your toes, hold for a second, then lower back down. Start with 10 repetitions and work up to 3 sets of 15. Do this while brushing your teeth or waiting for the coffee to brew. Walking up hills or stairs is another great calf builder. Even just walking on uneven surfaces like grass instead of always sticking to smooth sidewalks helps engage those muscles in different ways. Don't forget about nutrition. Your muscles need protein to rebuild, especially after exercise. A glass of milk, a handful of nuts, or a small serving of chicken provides the building blocks your muscles need. Take inspiration from men like 82-year-old Hank from Arizona, who started doing simple calf exercises after a minor fall scared him. Within just 3 months, he regained enough strength and balance to return to his beloved desert hikes. Or 77-year-old Carl, who strengthened his legs enough to dance at his granddaughter's wedding, something he'd worried might not be possible. Strong legs mean independence. They mean continuing adventures, playing with grandkids, and moving through the world confidently. They mean staying in your own home longer and maintaining your quality of life. What about you? Have you noticed changes in your leg strength over the years? What activities have become more challenging? Share in the comments below, and let us know if you've found ways to keep your legs strong. Your experience might help someone else who's facing the same changes. 3. The aging scent. Understanding the change in your body's smell. There's something that happens as we get older that few men talk about, even with their doctors. It's a change in how we smell, not because of poor hygiene, but because of actual changes in our skin chemistry. You might have noticed it yourself, a slightly different scent on your shirts or bedding that doesn't quite wash out, even with good laundry habits. Or maybe a family member has made a casual comment. If you've experienced this, you're not imagining things, and you're certainly not alone. What's happening is fascinating. As we age, our skin produces a compound called nonenal, pronounced no-nenal. It comes from the breakdown of omega-7 unsaturated fatty acids on our skin through a process called oxidation. While younger skin naturally washes away and replaces oils frequently, our skin's renewal process slows down with age, allowing these compounds to build up. William, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Ohio, first noticed it after his grandson made an innocent comment during a hug. "Grandpa, you smell different than Dad," he said. William was meticulous about showering daily and using deodorant, so the comment caught him off guard. "I tried changing soaps, colognes, even laundry detergents," he told me, "but nothing seemed to make a difference." Dr. Lisa Chen, a dermatologist specializing in aging skin, explains that non-enal has a distinctive scent often described as old book, grassy, or slightly waxy. It's more noticeable after age 55 and tends to increase in our 70s and beyond. This isn't about cleanliness, she emphasizes. It's a natural biochemical process that happens to everyone, though some people produce more non-enal than others. The challenge is that regular soaps don't effectively remove non-enal because it binds to skin cells differently than regular body odor compounds. But there are effective approaches. Soaps containing citrus extracts or persimmon can help neutralize non-enal specifically. Japanese researchers have studied this extensively and developed products targeting this specific compound. Your diet plays a role too. Foods rich in antioxidants, like colorful fruits and vegetables, help fight the oxidative stress that creates non-enal in the first place. Green tea is particularly effective, both consumed as a beverage and used in soaps. For your clothes, adding a half cup of baking soda to your laundry can help neutralize lingering odors that regular detergents miss. And natural fabrics like cotton and linen allow your skin to breathe better than synthetics, which can trap compounds against your skin. Interestingly, different cultures have varying perspectives on age-related body changes. In Japan, where this phenomenon has been studied extensively, there are specific products designed to address non-enal. In some cultures, the scent of aging is even considered a sign of wisdom and experience rather than something to be eliminated. Understanding that this change is a natural biological process, not a hygiene failure, can help us approach it with confidence rather than embarrassment. It's simply another way our bodies tell their ongoing story. Have you noticed changes in your body's scent over the years, or found products that work particularly well? I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. This is something many men experience, but few discuss openly. 4. Growing ears. The surprising truth about why your ears keep getting bigger. Here's something that might surprise you. Your ears are still growing. Yes, even now. While most of our body parts finish growing by our early 20s, our ears apparently didn't get the memo. They keep right on growing throughout our entire lives. Don't believe me? Find a photo of yourself from 20 or 30 years ago and compare it to your reflection today. Notice anything different about your ears? Chances are they're noticeably larger now, and that's completely normal. This continuing growth happens because, unlike most body tissues, the cartilage in our ears never stops growing. At the same time, gravity constantly pulls downward on this cartilage, while the skin covering our ears loses elasticity. The result? Ears that not only grow larger, but also longer and more elongated over time. Michael, a 79-year-old retired accountant from Florida, discovered this while organizing old photographs. "I came across my college graduation picture and couldn't believe the difference in my ears," he told me with a laugh. They weren't just bigger, they were a completely different shape. My earlobes had stretched out too. I called my doctor thinking something was wrong, but he assured me this was perfectly normal. Dr. James Harris, an ear, nose, and throat specialist with 40 years of experience, confirms this is universal. Ears grow approximately 0.2 millimeters per year after age 30, he explains. By the time a man reaches his 80s, his ears can be a full centimeter larger than in his youth. This continuing growth actually serves a purpose. As we age, our ear canals naturally narrow slightly. The outer ear's growth helps compensate by capturing more sound waves, supporting our hearing as other changes occur. For men who wear hearing aids, these changes might mean adjustments are needed periodically as ear shape evolves. If you wear reading glasses that hook over your ears, you might notice they fit differently as the years pass. Some men become self-conscious about these changes, especially when earlobes become more pendulous. Simple adjustments like shorter haircuts that reveal rather than hide the ears can actually create a more balanced appearance. Maintaining good skin elasticity through hydration and nutrition can also help minimize the drooping effect. Throughout history, different cultures have viewed ear size in fascinating ways. In many Eastern traditions, long earlobes are considered signs of wisdom and good fortune. The Buddha is traditionally depicted with elongated earlobes as a sign of enlightenment. Perhaps our ancestors understood something we've forgotten, that these changes mark a life of experience. As with all physical changes, our perspective matters most. These visible signs of aging can be viewed as unwelcome reminders of passing time, or they can be seen as marks of distinction, physical evidence of a life fully lived. I'm curious, had you noticed your ears changing? Try this. Find an old photo of yourself and compare it to your reflection today. Notice any differences? Share what you discover in the comments below. And if you have a good sense of humor about these changes, I'd love to hear that too. We've explored 4 physical signs that reveal our journey through time: the expanding waistline that signals hormonal shifts, the thinning calves that remind us to stay active, the changing body scent that marks shifts in our skin chemistry, and the growing ears that continue telling our story year after year. These changes aren't flaws to be hidden or problems to be fixed. They're natural chapters in our ongoing story. Understanding them gives us power to maintain our health, preserve our independence, and approach each day with confidence. While our culture often celebrates youth, there's profound wisdom in embracing these physical changes. They connect us to every generation that came before us and remind us of the privilege of growing older, something not everyone gets to experience. I hope this video has helped you understand your changing body with greater clarity and compassion. Remember, we're in this journey together, sharing experiences and learning from each other. If you found this information valuable, please hit that subscribe button and share this video with friends who might benefit. Drop a comment below about which of these changes surprised you most or any questions you still have. In our next video, we'll explore how sleep changes as we age and simple strategies to reclaim restful nights. Until then, wear your signs of aging proudly. They've been earned through a life well lived.